So this particular type of lacing is called hotspot lacing, and it's really useful when you've got some pain on top of the foot there, or also extensor tendinopathy, or for those that just want a bit more space on the top of the foot. And basically what we're going to do with this is we're going to skip some of these eyelets. So instead of crossing over at each eyelet here, we're going to skip one, so it actually alleviates the pressure underneath. So how you work out which eyelets to skip is if you put your foot in the shoe and then feel where the sore point is, or the point that you want the pressure relieved on, and then you just then skip the corresponding laces there. So as we can see, we've just laced up the bottom two holes there normally, and then what we're going to do here is we'll cross through into this this first one here, and then what we're going to do here is we're actually then going to skip these. So what we're actually going to do is we'll actually skip these two here. So we're going to come up through this hole here, and skip that one there, and then we're going to skip this one here as well. Good, and then we can then cross over here. There we go. So as you can see here, we've skipped this this hole down there, and so then we're leaving this this pressure in through there. If you want more pressure relief, then we can also take away the crisscross in that one. So that's hotspot lacing there. This particular type of lacing is called heel lock lacing, and it's quite useful for those that have insertional Achilles issues, or they find that their heel rubs up and down and shifts up and down in through the heel counter there, or if you feel like your foot is slipping out of your shoe. So this particular type of technique uses actually the very top hole here. So you'll often notice when you get shoes is that they'll usually go through this 6th hole, but we're actually going to use this 7th hole to create this heel lock. And what you're going to do there is lacing the shoe up as normal, but then we're going to come up through the seventh hole through here, and then we're going to go back in through the 6th, okay, and we're going to leave a bit of a loop on there, as you can see, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side there, going through the 7th and through that 6th, but leaving a loop. And so then what we've got here is then you can see, so we've got these two loops there. So we're going to cross over, and you're going to go through one loop there, and you're going to cross over the other one and through the opposite loop there, and then we're going to tighten that up. And as you can see, that really sort of locks in and tightens up the very top of the shoe there to create that heel lock. So this particular type of lacing is called parallel lacing, and it's perfect for those that have got higher arches, anyone that feels like their feet swell when they run, or if you just prefer less pressure on top of the foot, so you don't like a tight fitting upper. So for this particular type of lacing, what we're going to be doing is, as the name suggests, that the laces are going to run parallel. So you start with the laces done at the bottom side here, and then we're going to feed this one in, and what you're going to do is you're then going to skip an eyelet. So instead of coming up through this eyelet through here, we're actually going to skip that one, and we're going to come up through the 3rd eyelet here on this side, and through here. Okay. And then what we're going to do is on the other side, we're going to lace right across through here, and then again, same thing, we're going to skip up 2, so we're going to come up through, skip that one there, obviously the lace is going through there, and coming up through this 2nd one here, and put this around here. And then this one's going to go through here. And then we're going to skip that hole there. And it's coming up and through. Good, and this one's going to go down there. Skip up there. And come up the top. So as you can see through there, so the lace is then all going parallel along there, so that allows for more of that space, and then you just simply tie that up as you normally would up through the top there, and that's parallel lacing. This particular type of lacing is good for those with a wider forefoot, so they like a bit of space in the toes through here. You might have a wider foot, Morton's neuroma, compression in through the toes there, or just want a bit more room to wiggle the toes around. So, and it can also be useful for when the shoe's a little bit narrower fit. So what we're going to do very simply with this one, instead of actually starting the lacing down the very bottom at the first eyelet, you can actually start a bit higher up. So it can actually be as high as the third eyelet here, and then you're just simply going to then perform the usual lacing all the way up. So we just start at the third eyelet there, and then work our way crisscrossing up here, and and then finishing up the top. Good. And then we can tie that off as we normally would. So as you can see here, it's skipping the bottom two eyelets, and then we're starting from eyelet 3, and that what that does is just gives some greater room for these toes down through here. This particular type of lacing is called diagonal lacing, and it can be quite effective for relieving pain on the inside of the foot around the big toe. So they can be useful for those who just want a bit more room around the big toe, or those that have perhaps some stiffness or arthritic changes around through there. So what you're going to do is you're going to set up the laces, and on the inside. So as you can see, we've come through here, and this one that's on the inside there, we're basically going to go all the way up to the very last eyelet there, to that sixth eyelet, and we're just going to lace that through. So it's actually come diagonally up. Now with these type of shoes, you actually can't see the lace there, but on most shoes, if the lacing's on the outside of the tongue, you'll just see a diagonal. The lace will come up through here like this. Then what we're going to do with this really long, and you really need to pull this other one all the way through, you're actually going to then go all the way up through the shrews, through every eyelet. So we're going to come across through there, and then we're going to come up into the third here, and basically going to lace all the way up on top with this long part. So there and through, across. Good. And this top one, we're just going to go through that sixth one there. And if we've done that right, the laces should be about the same size, which is good. So we've done that there. So as you can see, we've got that the one that started on the inside that just goes straight diagonally across, and then the remaining lace will just crisscross and go through all the eyelets there. And that's diagonal lacing.